of the people. Sahara love the masses.
Welcome back to SaharaTV. It's been only a few months since the People's Democratic Party lost elections in Nigeria to the All Progressives Congress. A few months, however, for a party that had previously been in government for some 16 odd years is enough to make it sink in and also to take up the new role as the opposition. How is the party transitioning? How is it restructuring and re-strategizing towards the next general elections? And perhaps most importantly, how are they handling their new role on the other side of the divide? Chief Olisa Metuh is National Publicity Secretary for the PDP, and he has graciously accepted to speak with us on some of these issues. Chief Metuh, you're welcome to SaharaTV, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time with us. First of all, let me ask you, how does it feel in opposition?
Opposition. It's cold out there.
It's cold out there?
Yeah, it is.
How so?
People that have been close to you, people that have been with you for the past 10 years will decide to jump ship because you no longer have the government. Cold out there in the sense that suddenly people would allow themselves to be used and they fabricate things against you and against your party. Cold out there because you are susceptible to the machinations and the conspiracy of the government and the ruling party. But in terms of service, in terms of commitment, you renew one's commitment to the nation and to service. The fact that you really want to do well and you want to serve the people. Yes.
So you mentioned certain people who are more or less deserting you because you are no more handling the affairs of the situation, of the nation up front. Are you making particular reference to anybody?
No, no particular reference, but the week that we lost presidential election, we witnessed exodus because of it. Even now, as we speak, some members of our party are no more committed to the party. And even the staff of the secretariat, everybody is free to make any deals and any commitment to the ruling party and allow themselves to be used because there is no more discipline within the rank and file, and they don't believe that there is any benefit they can get from the party.
Okay.
But the good thing about it is that it's separating people who came to reap from people who came to serve the people. We believe that politics is about service to the people. It's not about what you gain from the government or from being in politics. So for those who came to gain, they are leaving us in droves. For those who want to serve with us, they will remain.
Okay.
And will work hard.
All right.
Yes.
So let's jump to some current issues, Chief. You were recently quoted in the press as saying that you welcome a probe by the Buhari government of your government's stewardship, as long as there's some level of decorum. There are also allegations that there are some members of the PDP who are facing charges of corruption on different levels. How fair do you expect this probe to be? How much fairness are you expecting?
Thank you very much. One thing is very clear. There is no association, group, or political party in this world where you will not find people who will be corrupt or who will attempt to engage in corrupt practices. So our party is not an exception, and we're not immune to that. So we welcome it because such things are not protected or condoned by our political party. So if there are people who have served our government or who are members of our party that engage in that, we welcome them to be investigated, prosecuted, and if guilty, to be convicted. But in doing that, we must have respect for the rule of law. We must have respect for the dictates of democracy, their liberty and their freedom should be protected.
Is there any reason why you think this will not be done, though? Are there any indications that you've seen which is prompting you to make this call?
There. What we are witnessing now is what we call political lynching. A situation where people they're painting everyone that works with PDP as corrupt people. And they're rewriting the rules of engagement, the rule of law, not to be everyone is deemed innocent until the contrary is proved. What they're not doing now, that for you to have said PDP or worked with PDP, you are prima facie guilty of corruption. So you come out and declare yourself innocent or prove yourself innocent. And this is completely unconstitutional, is undemocratic, is not what is tenable in any developed democracy. So our point is that let the rule of law and let the proper procedure be adopted. And let there be right to human rights, to fundamental things that inalienable rights are guaranteed by the Constitution. But it is not being done. And probe in itself is good. You can probe, but probe is not a policy or a program, should not be the center policy or center program of any government. Because while we are probing, what is the agenda to progress and grow the economy? While we are doing that, what is the agenda for the nation? Because if you focus on the path of probing, yeah, you can set up some people to be doing that. Why you focus on delivering and don't be disturbing the political landscape when we are probing people like this, corruption. If they're corrupt, arrest them, investigate, arrest, prosecute. But don't be disturbing the entire political space with the PDP is corrupt.
Okay.
PDP is corrupt.
Okay.
That's a diversion. That's a diversion. That's a distraction to non-performance.
Okay, Chief. So you also been quoted as saying that President Buhari's recent trip to Washington, D.C. was fruitless. How so?
I didn't hear you, please.
You've been quoted in the press as saying, and I understand it's your party's position as well, that the recent trip by the President Buhari to Washington, D.C. was fruitless. How so?
Yeah, we believe he was unprepared for that trip. Into that trip, he should have waited, formed his government, found out the policy of his government, known exactly what he require of bilateral agreements that he need to work on with the United States before embarking on such a trip. But he was in a hurry as if he needed endorsement. If it was a thank you visit, well, he succeeded because he really thanked the USA. But as a visit that he expected bilateral cooperation, it was a monumental failure. There was no preparedness on the part of the Nigerian government for any talks with their counterparts. Whilst we witnessed the caliber of people that came to the talks with the American president, for us, our president went there to discuss with them with 3 APC governors who have questionable performance in their states, and at the same time, they're owing billions to workers and other people. So, I mean, I don't understand what he was trying to convey by going there with the governors. We have seen when President Obasanjo went there, it took him how many years before he went there? 2 years. When he got there, he got even 200 million naira in aid and whatever cooperation in the United States. But how come that our president, within less than 30 days or 45 days, they're rushing to the United States? So he didn't make an impression in the minds of his host.
I see.
And he didn't make an impression in the minds of credible Nigerians.
I see. Chief, you've also been quoted as saying, and I'm quoting you right now, the PDP restrained itself from embarrassing the president by not raising, while he was in the U.S., issues of harassment of citizens, interferences in the activities of the National Assembly and the Independent National Electoral Commission, total disregard for tenets of democracy, resort to sole administratorship, as well as other violations which have become the order of the day in Nigeria since the inauguration of his administration. Are these claims you can really substantiate, Chief?
Yeah, we've been doing that every day. Which one do you want me to substantiate? The one that the director of DSSS was appointed is a member of APC. DSSS is like FBI. It's not like CIA. So you stay in the United States, you understand what it means to be the head of FBI. It's not for political party members. And then from there, you now, and it's a relation of the president. I mean, it's never happened in anywhere in the world. Maybe in Libya in the past under Muammar Gaddafi. Maybe in Iraq under Saddam Hussein. Maybe in Zimbabwe now under Museveni. But it's never happened in any democracy in the world, any known democracy. You appoint your relative as head of the security, as head of the independent electoral commission. That's nepotism. That's abuse of power. So these things, and then what are the first acts of this teacher of the SSS? He embarked on arresting people, invading people's houses where they're looking for whatever, I don't know. And then he invited and detained an INEC commissioner, state commissioner in Rivers State. And then he invited the INEC commissioner of Akwa Ibom has been invited up to 9 times in a space of in less than 3 weeks since the appointment of the DGTSSS. They have been intimidated, harassed into ensuring that APC will, no matter the cost, capture of course, River State, Akwa Ibom, and some other key PDP states. I mean, that's unacceptable to a party. So we want to bring this to the notice of the entire world. But because we wanted our president to attempt gains in the United States, we don't want to dramatize or publicize this then. We wanted him to engage in impressing his vote on how they can assist him in security, how they could assist him in terms of the economy, how they can get back to doing business with Nigeria.
Okay, Chief.
We believe that the success of this president is not particular to him. It's not individual success. It's not party. It's not political party success. Whatever he gains will be the success of the entire country. And we are Nigerians. We will not engage in what the opposition, the ruling party was doing when they were in position. Just attacking, condemning, and abusing the government of the day. We will never do that.
Okay.
We want this country to make progress in 4 years. Because whatever progress that they make, we will be beneficiaries of it as well. When it comes to elections, we can then argue that we could have done more. But yet, yes, we want our president to do well.
Okay,
but
Chief.
We will provide alternatives and options.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back a bit to an issue that you raised about the arrest of the head of the DSS, Sambo Dasuki. Dasuki was supposed to be working with your government, but he made a statement to the effect that he could have arrested Buhari for incitement in 2011. He did not. What's your thoughts of Mr. Dasuki at this point? Do you think he did your government any good?
Well, this is not personal. This is not personal, but you must understand that former president never engaged in any political harassment. No Nigerian was stained, intimidated, or harassed, and or persecuted on account of his not being a member of the party. Rather, what we witnessed in the last years is that PDP members have often been investigated and tried for corrupt activities. It does not mean that PDP only corrupt people are in PDP. What it means is that PDP is very particular about corruption, anti-corruption. So we want to expose some of our members who have engaged in it. Even if there are still questions on whether they were culpable or not, we will expose them and we give them up for trial.
Okay.
No other political party has done that in Nigeria.
Chief, a lot of Nigerians are also complaining about the pace of President Buhari in organizing his government. What are your thoughts on that?
Let him take his time. That's his style. He wants to take his time. We have no problem with it.
Okay.
What we have problem with is that letting the rights of individuals be respected. Let the rights of Nigerians be respected. This is a democracy, not a military regime.
Okay.
In a military regime, you can fight corruption. In a military regime, you can provide infrastructure. But you will not guarantee the rights of the citizens. But in a democracy, you must respect the liberty and the freedom of the people that you're leading.
Okay.
So let him take his time. We have a quarrel about it. Let him take his time. He says he doesn't want a cabinet. You can bring your cabinet to 2 years. But when you bring a policy or a program, we will provide alternatives and options to whatever you bring.
Okay. Chief, let's talk about...
If we were in government, we would have been doing some things now. But it is not for us to force the president to perform.
Okay.
It is not for us to force the president to start doing something to enhance the economy of the country.
Well stated. Let's talk about some party issues at this point, Chief. There are reports that the PDP is broke and it's actually planning to cut its workforce by 50%. Can you speak to this? Is the PDP really broke?
Well, the truth is that PDP has never ever been buoyant. And this is not the issue that we want to discuss in this of newspapers. But for record purposes, let me state that PDP every 4 years we sell forms and we get revenue that keeps us going for the next 4 years. This state is not different. We've had that revenue. But unlike other years, we had to fund and finance the entire gubernatorial elections in Nigeria from the funds that we used to do our campaign. It has never happened before. I know this affected us, but that's not why we have problem with our staff. We have problem with our staff because we got information that some of them have been offered appointments and employment by the ruling party and the government. So they have been told to sabotage and distract us. The government and the ruling party are uncomfortable that the PDP are raising certain questions about their style of government. And what they're doing is to ensure that the PDP is unsettled and will never do that. So they engage some of our staff to attempt the destabilization. So, but our reaction was to instruct and direct our staff to go back to their local government and their state and get a re-validation letter to ensure that they are still loyal to our party. Because we're in Abuja now. We have 100 and something staff. We don't know how many of them are still working with their state. How many of them worked against the anti-party in their state? How many of them are known to their party structure? If you are not known to your party structure, what are you doing in PDP secretariat? This is not Cadbury. You can go to Dunlop and get employment. But if you are working on a political party, you must have a foothold in your state. So if they are not like that, then we will not we will do something about such employment.
Okay.
When we did that, of course, they have reacted to their playmasters and raise allegations of fraud, allegations of incompetence. We made this were elections. The elections were 5 months ago. Why didn't they speak up then? Now that we want to revalidate their employment, it's now that they remembered it.
Finally, Chief, let's talk about Boko Haram and security. Even though your government took a lot of bashing for how you handled the Boko Haram crisis, towards the end of President Jonathan's presidency, he made quite some significant gain. With President Buhari promising to do a lot with Boko Haram, Nigerians expected that something significant should have happened with the struggle with Boko Haram at this time. What is your thoughts on that? How well do you think President Buhari is taking up from where you left off?
Well, we will play the Fifth Amendment, like they say, on that one, because we want to rally the entire Nigerians behind the president. We want to give him support, unlike what happened in the past. Security is such a sensitive issue that we must be able to show to those that want to divide us that we are completely united under the leader of the country, the president, elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will not play politics with that. Whatever he decides to do on the issue of security, he has the support of the People's Democratic Party.
Okay.
Let us join hands and work hard to defeat those that want to divide us.
Thank you very much, Chief Olisa Metuh. Oh, but before you go, one final thing. You've been criticized for the way you handle interviews. Some members of the APC said you need coaching with interviews. What's your reaction?
I think they are correct. If I'm expected to insult and abuse people, I'll need coaching, because I've not been doing this. If they expect me to trend on absurdities and to trend on irrelevancies, yes, that's totally correct. But on the question of issues, I don't think the APC understands that media engagement should be on issues. They have been spreading. I'm faced with opponents who have been engaged in gospels of hatred, bitterness, and division in the entire country, and they're being hailed. And people are hailing people and are congratulating people for abusing leaders. I will not emulate them. I will not imitate them. I will not do what they did. I am doing a different thing. What we are doing is focusing on issues, providing alternatives and options. And if they want to coach me, they cannot coach me on this because they're completely novice. They don't understand anything on that. They're completely void in that aspect.
Okay,
so there's
Chief.
no way they can coach me on that. But to coach me on insults, on abuses, yes, they can do that. But sorry, I don't want that. I don't want to learn bad things.
Thank you
I
so
want
very
the younger
much.
ones to learn good things about the country.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Chief Olisa Metuh, National Publicity Secretary, for the People's Democratic Party in Nigeria, the PDP. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, my dear. You're welcome.
All right. Chief Olisa Metuh, like I said before, National Publicity Secretary, PDP. Stay tuned. This is Sahara TV. We have more coming on this network.